The reason being, you do not want to be paying people for time that they did fluff. And a daily check-in as to what happened yesterday and what is going to happen today is going to very easily put the conversation in a forward-moving. If you are a leader in any capacity, you need to start understanding that, hey, it's a long-ass road. There is lots to do. There's a lot of emotional turmoil that needs to be put up with. And frankly speaking, there's a lot of people that are perhaps causing these things. If we don't know how to deal with this, we will be at a loss when the blows eventually come. So I advise that you think very strongly about the people that you are putting into your groups. I have a dental practice that I'm running, and I have a company called Therapify Co., which is for scaling businesses. And both of these require me to consistently think about people. The reason being, without them, frankly, my hours are limited in terms of their productivity. But also without them, I don't get new ideas and stronger probably as a leader. So what I want to talk to you about today is the idea of recruitment. How exactly do we find the people that we need in our organizations? And this advice is particularly for someone that is running a business that requires people to perhaps work on their own time and that requires output per week or per month. What I'm figuring out now is that being the type of leader that requires people to check in constantly, that has some rigid guidelines, perhaps that has conduct that they are expecting, in a sense, a certain type of a way of conducting business or conducting conversations. You need to really be in a state where you know exactly what you want from the people, and you know whether or not it's feasible for those people to do it in X amount of time. How do you get to that point? Experience. It's just repetition. You give someone a task to do that's due at the end of the week, and you see if they get it done. And if they don't get it done, you have a conversation about whether or not they're doing their due diligence, or whether or not you think that you could even accomplish such a mission in a week. Hopefully we are recruiting people that either have a baseline of our expertise so that we can teach them a skill set and segment that out of our time, or we are hiring someone that has a skill set that we do not have and we do not want to have, meaning that they have knowledge that we don't necessarily want to have expertise in. In the latter role, you have to be very serious about learning. You have to be very serious about having those conversations, that consistent commitment to conversation. My advice is to set up meetings daily, especially if you're going to work with independent contractors that are setting their own hours. The reason being, you do not want to be paying people for time that they did fluff. And a daily check-in as to what happened yesterday and what is going to happen today is going to very easily put the conversation in a forward-moving momentum. And I have failed to do this, and it has cost me, because first of all, when you hire someone straight up, you don't necessarily trust them. And second of all, they don't necessarily trust you. That being said, in a small business, when the business first opens up, trust is kind of an important aspect of the relationship. You need to know that if someone is not necessarily able to communicate right then and there, that they have the character that you are looking for, thusly that they can execute without necessarily you having to micromanage the entire time. Delegation comes in here. But the daily meetings really make a tremendous difference, because not only do you know as a leader where you're going and whether or not we've made the progress, but also the accountability that's necessary for us to make progress only really comes from daily reminders in the very beginning, if not multiple times a week. That accountability is what makes us want to do our job, but also makes it so that everyone that we're leading understands very well where they fit. And that process of decay, that process of the systems breaking down over time, which happens naturally, will constantly be mended. And that's the ideal for sustainability, is making sure that every step along the way we are augmenting so that the machine as a whole doesn't break in 6 months. So hopefully this has given you some stuff to think about. I want you to ask some questions. If there's some delegation issues, if there's some hiring issues that you want me to perhaps give you my 2 cents on, please throw me in the comments below and we'll have that conversation. If you are the owner of a small business or the owner of a medium to large size business and you're looking for someone to come in that can perhaps analyze the grand strategy and perhaps give you some insight as to what you may be able to do to increase revenue and at the very least increase the systematization of the company, the organization of the company, please hit me up. Send me a DM or an email. And as always, my friend, actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Take care of yourself. If you have a second, check out this video. It'll point you in some more directions when it comes to management.